Do me a favor, close your eyes and picture this. A genie comes out of a lamp all of a sudden and promises you everything you've ever desired. Your dream car, your dream life, your dream family, and financial freedom forever. Do you think that you'd finally achieve perpetual happiness? Obviously, the only correct answer is, of course, bro, who would say no? But, are we sure about that though?
Was it as easy as it looked?
No, sir. No, sir, it wasn't.
Well, good luck, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you.
What once felt like a dream, all of a sudden feels normal, mundane, and even boring. And it's pretty ironic, no? We always want these grandiose things for ourselves and imagine them, but once we finally achieve them, all of a sudden it feels like we're empty. The exact moment that we get what we want, our brain starts searching for the next best thing. So today, we're diving into the ideology of the dream life. We're gonna talk about how it might not be as cool as you think, how we always seem to be chasing a new goal or dream, and I'm gonna give you a couple questions that we can ask ourselves just to make sure that we're on the right path and actually still trying to achieve that dream life that we always want. And make sure you stick around until the last question because it definitely will help you achieve your dreams, even if it can't grant you eternal happiness. All right, so let's get into it. Have you ever heard of something in psychology called hedonistic adaptation? No? Well, don't worry, because that's what I'm here for. It basically means that no matter how new or exciting something is, we most likely will always get accustomed to it and it will just feel normal eventually. We always return back to baseline happiness. And sadly, this leads into something that's even more scary, at least in my opinion, and a lot more relevant in this day and age: the hedonistic treadmill. Unless you live under a rock a la Patrick Star, you know what a treadmill is. And if not, you should probably go find one. Whenever we want something new, the treadmill starts moving, and we run, and we run, and we run, until we finally achieve that prize at the end of the treadmill. But guess what? The treadmill doesn't stop moving. It keeps going, and going, and going. And that's a representation of how we humans are. Think about it for a second. When was the last time you bought something expensive and didn't buy something for months and months and months? Normally we get something new, we love it, and after weeks and weeks of using it, we just go, damn, am I even happy anymore? We basically always keep wanting more and more and more. And it puts us in an endless cycle of consumerism that we're not gonna get into right now because this video will take a whole different tangent. And this might be one of the reasons or justifications that billionaires keep wanting more and more money. From a pleb's point of view like me, I look at a billionaire and I go, man, how much more money do you really need, dude? But from their point of view, just another day in the office, and they're making a light 50 mil. Even though they could literally buy multiple countries just to burn them down and then build them back up, they still want more and more. They keep chasing that dragon. And it's not because they're greedy, rich assholes, even though some of them are. It's just because they're humans, just like you and me, albeit far wealthier humans. By the way, guys, if you can please just hit like, sub, or even comment. A lot of you guys that watch these videos are not subbed, and it's normal. I get it, right? Why would you want to commit to a relationship with me? You don't even know me. But please, change my life and maybe I'll change yours. Hit that sub button, please. All right, back to the video. I feel that it's also equally as important to mention that due to the way that social media is set up right now, we tend to fantasize our dream lives. What we want nowadays is not what our ancestors wanted back in the day. I can promise you that. And that, mixed in with what we see online, sets these crazy expectations for what we want in our lives. And you know what's coming next? I'm gonna say it's becoming a staple of this channel, but I don't blame it. As humans, we're taught to believe that pretty much anything is in our grasp if we really want it. We spend years fantasizing about the things that we're gonna get when we grow older, and we're always so concerned about growing up quicker and quicker and quicker. When we're kids, we can only think about growing up. I remember always wanting to get into the PG-13 movies or be able to play that T for Teens rated video game. But guess what happened when I was finally able to? Nothing. And the movie was also pretty mid, I'm not gonna lie. But ask yourself this, how many times have you achieved something in your life only to realize eventually that it wasn't as cool as you thought it was gonna be? Maybe you got that dream job and then eventually it was just a job. Or maybe you finally moved into that dream apartment of yours, but eventually after a couple months, it's just a TV screen and a bed. We put so much anticipation in these goals of ours that by the time we finally reach them, there's just no way that we're actually gonna feel the excitement that we thought we were gonna feel. We end up getting more hyped about the idea of the goal than actually achieving the goal. And this is something that I've dived into as well, that just thinking constantly and attracting things is not enough. You actually have to go out and put in the work. Us humans, we love the chase, the fantasy of becoming powerful, rich, and loved by everyone. But sadly, when we finally achieve it, it just feels kind of underwhelming. It doesn't matter what you want in life, we eventually all return to baseline. And just like that, the cycle continues and goes on and on and on.
I'll tell you, you're on a loop. They go around the block, they come back, they go around again. They just go round and round, round and round.
You know, I invited Rita and Marlon for a barbecue on Sunday. I'm gonna
won't be
make my
here
potato
Sunday.
salad.
So what now? I mean, if our dream lives won't actually make us feel like we're living in a dream, then what's the point of it all? Does that mean that we shouldn't even try? Not really. It just means that we need to rethink what our dream lives actually are. And to do that, I need to ask you a question really quickly. Think about your life 5 years ago. What did you want more than anything in this world? Maybe it was a relationship with that special someone, a perfect job, or just your dream car. And now ask yourself, do you have any of those things that you actually wanted 5, 10 years ago? Most likely, the answer is yes, as long as you've been grinding just a little bit. And yet, you've already normalized them, haven't you? They're just simple and normal part of your lives now. And that's not failure, it's just proof that you're evolving as a human being. But it also means that you have to be pretty intentional as to what you define as actual success. Because if not, what's the point of actually trying to achieve the goal if the goalpost keeps moving every time you get closer to it? Makes no sense. Your dream life isn't about what you actually have, it's more about how you actually feel in that moment in time. Happiness isn't something that you accidentally stumble on. We don't stumble on things like that, unless you're my ex. It's just built into your daily experiences. So try to ask yourself these 3 things whenever you're at a crossroads in your life. These questions may seem silly at first, I'm not gonna lie to you, but they are a pretty good indicator of how you're actually doing at that moment in time. Number 1, are you constantly learning new things? Albert Einstein once said, once you stop learning, you start dying. He firmly and clearly always believed that we never should stop trying to learn new things, and we should always go for more and more and more. Which is true, I mean, that's life after all, isn't it? Number 2, are you surrounded by the people you love? Sadly, life isn't forever. The relationships we make tend to influence the legacy that we leave behind. So please make sure that you don't rob yourself of that happiness and those personal connections. And finally, number 3, are you actually engaged in things that challenge you? Sure, you might be grinding, but are you struggling? Instead of always going for the easiest route or the path of least resistance, try something new. As humans, we grow off the struggle, and it leads to adaptations in the future, not the other way around. These are some of the things that I actually personally feel that creates a fulfilling life. Not just achieving big milestones, but finding joy in the process. So instead of spending years and years chasing a dream that might not even make you happy, ask yourself this: how can I make today feel like a dream and not tomorrow? Because the truth is, your dream life isn't some far-fetched fantasy or pipe dream that you may never get. Your dream life is built in the choices that you make every single day. Peace.
I seen me through the process. I don't really want no problems. Niggas ain't got no merit. Niggas ain't got no posture. Round here.